Hello everybody. Today I will be showing you how to transfer your Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon from your Pokemon ROMs into your Gen 4 Pokemon games without using any equipment. Before I start, I do want to give a nod to Linkera atop the fourth wall, who made a video on how to do this 7 years ago. However, technology has improved since then and he hasn't revisited this video, which is why I'm making this to show you that you don't need to spend money on any equipment for this. So what you're going to need, first off, you're going to need the actual save file of your Gen 1 and 2 game with all of your Pokemon inside of it. You're going to need a save file for Generation 3, so Leaf Green, Fire Red, Emerald, Sapphire, or Ruby, so that you can actually transfer your Pokemon into it. And afterwards, you're going to need a Gen 4 ROM and save file. It has to be completed so you can use your migration function. And you're also going to need a DS emulator. You're actually going to need two for this. So first off, you're going to need Desmume, and you're going to need Melon DS emulator. And don't worry, all of these will have links in the description so you don't have to look for them. Something else that you're going to need is Metropolis's Pokemon Converter program, which will also be in the description, and I will be walking you through how to use it. I believe that is it, other than you have to own a DS and DS game for obvious reasons. Let's get started. So the first step is going to be transferring your Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon into your Gen 3 game. So to start, you're going to need to find the save file of whichever Gen 1 or Gen 2 game you were playing. If you were playing on your phone by any chance, that's not an issue, whether you're playing on your computer or your phone, because the emulators produce the same kind of save file. You just have to find it. So you have to go through your phone files and such and find where your emulator stocks the save files. So in my case, it was here. And in most cases, the save file is either going to be in a file called files or in a file called saves. So in my case, this is my Pokemon Crystal save file, and this is my Pokemon Yellow save file. Next up, to do this transfer, you're going to need a save file for Gen 3. So this is the same thing as for Gen 1. You have to find the save file of whichever game you're playing. So in my case, same thing. It was in a file that my emulator made, and in this case, it's in save. So I'm going to be using my Ash Gray file, which is basically just a modified Fire Red file. A very good game if you want to play. So yeah, these are, I'm going to be using Yellow, Crystal, and Fire Red to do the transfer. So next up, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open up the Metropolis converter once you have downloaded it. I'll be walking you through that in just a second. So next up, we will be opening the Pokemon converters so we can actually convert the Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon into Gen 3. So here it is. I open it up. When you do, this window is going to pop up. It's asking you to open a file. The file in question is the save file I was telling you about earlier. And sometimes you'll open it and it will either just crash or the file will be empty, or you might just encounter problems in general. If this is happening to you, what I did personally is I just saved the game in game a couple of times, and that is supposed to rewrite the save file. So just do that a couple of times and eventually it should work. That's how it worked for me. So first off, you're going to have to open either your Gen 1, 2, or 3 file. I'm going to start with my Fire Red file. When you do this, it might ask you to select which game you're playing. So this is Fire Red. Once you do this, a window is going to pop up right here. It has all of your information. It has your sprite, your name, rival name, etc. You have your party here. And then you have your boxes, which as you can see, I've already started doing a couple of transfers. You also have all your items, your Pokedex. So yes, technically you can use this converter also to edit your ROM. But that's not what I'm going over today. Next up, you're going to open the other file. So I'm going to go back and open, I'm going to go with my crystal file today. It might ask you to confirm the game. Just say yes or no. And then, ta-da, you have your data from the other game. Same thing. Got your party, your boxes, your items, and etc. So what you're going to do is you're going to select the Pokemon from Gen 1 or 2 that you want to transfer up. You're going to click on copy. And then you can do this in the party or you can do this in the boxes. Personally, I prefer doing it in the box. You're going to click on a box, do paste. You've just copied your Pokemon into the new game. Congratulations. However, something you will notice when you go over the stats is a big issue is the EVs. Starting in Gen 3, the maximum EVs in total that a Pokemon can have is 510. And if you look at this is clearly over 510. I think it's 700 something for sure. So there's two ways you can go about fixing this. You can either do the math yourself, do some cross multiplication and find the adapted numbers, which is what I did, or you can just go in auto here and do auto validate, which what it will do is it'll just adapt the last two stats here so that you do have a total of 510 EVs. However, keep in mind that if you do this, you just lost all of your EVs for special attack and special defense, which kind of sucks. So it's really up to you what you want to do. Other things that are going to be kind of weird is that since this is a Pokemon from Gen 1 or 2, it doesn't know which game you got it from because this is all Gen 3 games, and it doesn't know where you got it from either because all of the options here are options from Gen 3 locations. So you can mess around with this if you want. I usually just put other, and then I would put in-game trade because that makes sense. Also, something else you're going to notice is every time you transfer a Pokemon from Gen 2 to Gen 3, its personality would be hardy. And this is because in Gen 1 and 2, personality just didn't exist. So you can mess around with the numbers, get whichever personality you want. Or you can just leave it as hardy, it's really up to you. And something else to keep in mind is migration doesn't let you transfer Pokemon up with HMs. So to get it out of the way, I suggest removing the HMs right away, and you can just relearn them in Gen 4 later. So once you're done, you just click X, you go to File, you save, and your game should be good to go. So the next step, now that we have your Pokemon in the Gen 3 game, is to actually migrate them. So as I mentioned earlier, you are going to need a completed Gen 4 ROM save file for this. Otherwise, you don't have access to the PAL Park. And if you happen not to have a completed Gen 4 game, not to worry. I was in the same situation. And what you can do very simply is just go on Google and type up, completed save file for whichever game you're playing, which is what I did for Pokemon Platinum. So personally, I went on this website, and this person uploaded their game file, which had all the badges, had beaten the Pokemon League, so it had access to the PAL Park. I will be putting this link in the description in case you want to use it as well. Also, when you're using a save file, make sure that it's basically compatible with the ROM you're using. Like, don't use a Japanese save file into a US ROM file because then it just won't work. So in my case, I had specifically the Pokemon Platinum Xenophobia ROM, so I had to find a save file that someone used when they were playing this ROM in particular. So just make sure that you have that, and I will be showing you how to import your save file afterwards and how to migrate. Alright, so next up we will be doing the actual migration from Gen 3 to Gen 4. So I will be using Desmume for this, simply because it's easier for me. Melon DS Emulator has the same function, however it personally gave me a harder time, so I'm just going to go with Desmume for today. So you will open up the application, you go on File, open ROM, you click on the NDS file for whichever Gen 4 game you selected, so Platinum for me. Once you've done that, the ROM will start running. However, you haven't yet loaded your save file information. So you're going to go back in File, click on Import Backup Memory, and select whichever save file you want to use. So this is the save file I was telling you guys about, the one I got from online, which is already completed. And as you can see, I've already started playing with it and making my own save files. So I will be using my own. In your case, yeah, use the one you downloaded, or if you have your own completed save file, feel free to use that one. You just need a save file that is completed and that is compatible with the ROM you're using. So there you go, you click on Open, you click on OK, and if you did all these steps correctly, the game should reset and work. So here we go. When you get here, since you haven't yet loaded your GBA cartridge between parentheses, the migration function won't be there. It is for me since I've done this before. So for it to work for you guys, what you're going to do is you're going to go in configuration here, and you're going to click on slot to GBA slot. When you guys will open this up, it will be like this. The option will be none. So you're going to have to load up your GBA cartridge. So in a video that I watched to learn how to do this, it told me to do a guitar grip before doing the GBA slot, just so it works. So I'm just going to do this because it worked for me and doesn't really harm you. So go. Once you've done that, you go back in slot to GBA slot, and this time you click on GBA cartridge, and it will ask you for the name of the ROM you want to use. So you're going to go and browse, and you're going to find the ROM that you want to find. So in my case, I want to use Ash Gray. And you're going to click on the GBA file. So to make sure that your GBA file will actually load with all of the Pokemon inside of it, you're going to have to make sure that the save file that accompanies it has the same name. If it does, it's automatically going to load with the GBA file. In most cases, emulators already have this function, but if you want to double check to be certain, might as well do it. So you click on Open, you click on OK, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to restart the ROM. And once I open it, once you guys open it, the migrate from the game you have should work. So here we go. And here it is, migrate from Fire Red. So you're going to go in here, click on yes. As you can see here, it's giving you a fair warning that once you migrate the Pokemon, they can't go back to the GBA file, so do keep that in mind. Make sure you know what you're doing. So you click on yes, and then it will ask you to choose 6 Pokemon that you want to migrate. So here is the Feraligatr that I converted earlier. So I'm going to click on it, and I had to select 5 more Pokemon, so I'm just going to select 5 random Pokemon. This one. There we go. It will ask you to confirm. You confirm, and once this is done, your Pokemon will have migrated to your Gen 4 game and will have left your Gen 3 game. Here we go. It was a success. It'll bring you back to the start. There we go. And then you have to go to the Pal Park in your game. So in Soul Silver Heart Gold, this is going to be in Saffron City and Kanto. And in Platinum, Pearl, and Diamond, it's going to be right here. So you're going to have to make your way here to get to the Pal Park. And then you go inside. Okay, looks like I have a short scene, so I will get back to you guys in just a sec. So here we are at the Pal Park. Before we get started, do keep in mind that it's a good idea to have a Pokemon with Surf in your party, because there's different areas in the Pal Park So if ever you migrated any aquatic Pokemon, they might be in the water. So you might need Surf to actually have access to them. So you go up to this guy. Say you want to enter your catch and show. And you will go in here and go catch your migrated Pokemon. So don't worry about losing them, because the Pokeballs they give you are basically Master Balls. They have an 100% catch rate. So let's see. Also, my ROM has slowed down a lot because of the migration. So here's a Tauros that I migrated. You click on ball, and you will have caught your migrated Pokemon. And here is the Feraligatr that I migrated all the way up from Crystal. So here we go. Throw a ball, and we will have caught it. There we go. So once you have completed the catching contest and you have all your Pokemon, you're going to have to make sure to, well, start off by saving. That's pretty important. I like to save at least 2 or 3 times just to make sure that the save is actually working. And there we go. Just gonna save a second time just to be sure. Okay. And now you're going to export the backup memory. Basically, you're going to make your own save file with everything you just did. So I'm just going to name mine Feraligatr, since it's pretty obvious. And we will be using the save file to carry on in Melon DS emulator. So before we actually get started with the trade, there are a couple of things that you will have to get out of the way. Because as you may or may not know, Nintendo discontinued their online systems for DS games a couple of years ago. So that's certainly an issue. However, there's some fans that got together and made this thing called Poke Classic Network. So Poke Classic Network is basically a new server that fans can use to battle, trade, etc. online. And you can have access to it on your DS in a couple of simple steps. I will be showing you how to deal with these steps on the ROM, since I can't really film what I'm doing on my DS. But it's the same steps for on your DS. So here goes. I'll be using Melon DS for this portion of the video because Melon DS is the emulator that can actually connect online. If you try this with Desmume, it won't work. So here we go. Same thing as with Desmume, you open the ROM that you want. So I'm going to go get my Platinum ROM. Give me a moment. Here it is. It opens it up. You will import the save file that you exported earlier. So my Feraligatr save file in this case. So here we are. The game is working. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in Nintendo Wi-Fi Club settings. And as you can see from Melon DS, it already has that setup in here, which is pretty neat. However, on your DS, you're going to have to start this whole connection setup. So I'm not going to go through this today because you can find help for that in other YouTube videos. However, once you've set up a connection that works, to have access to the Poke Classic Network, you're going to have to change the DNS. So you're going to go to Auto Obtain DNS, click on No, and edit the primary DNS. You're going to change it to the DNS given right here in Poke Classic Network. You have to change it to this. So I'm going to do a bit of back and forth here. Just give me a moment. So I remember it was 178.62. 178, 62, 43. I believe this is correct. Yep, good to go. So you're going to change it to this. You're going to edit the primary DNS as I just did, and you're not going to touch the secondary DNS. And then you're going to click on Save Settings. And now you should be good to go to do the trade. So you're going to have to change the DNS settings on both your DS and Melon DS. So make sure you do that. And once that's done, you're going to go into the game and we're going to go to the Wi-Fi Club. So the next step will be to go to the Wi-Fi Club with the Pokemon you want to trade into your real game. In case you guys want to see how my alligator looks like, here he is. Same moves as in the converter. So you're going to go down here in the Pokemon Center. And once you go there, since you've probably never been here in the emulator, it's going to tell you that you don't have a pal pad and don't have a friend code. So you're going to have to go and access the Wi-Fi Club for the first time, which is going to give you your friend code, because we're going to need to register friend codes and such for the trade. And in case you have never been on the Poke Classic network with your DS, you're going to have to go through the same process there to get your pal pad and your friend code. So I will get back to you guys after that's done. Alright, so I have now obtained my friend code for this game and also for my DS. So before we get started, you will have to register your friend codes in the pal pads. So your DS's friend code in your emulators friend roster and your ROM friend code in your DS. Because to use the Wi-Fi Club, the Wi-Fi room here, you have to be registered in each other's pal pads. So once you're ready, you go here. You're going to connect up on both games. So you're going to connect on your DS and on your ROM in the same place. So just gonna show the process here. Alright, so I'll be back when I'm ready to go. Alright, so as you can see, I'm here on my DS and on my ROM. So one of the characters will have to go up to the screen and select trade, which I've done in my DS. So you go talk to the jumping character and it'll say that they want to trade. So I will be switching over to my camera in just a sec to show you guys what it looks like. So here we are. This is my DS, this is my ROM. So I'm gonna go on my ROM and, oh dear, and select my alligator. And I'm going to go on my DS and just select my Starly. And here we are. I'm just gonna put the volume up for you guys. Oh, it's my face. Great. There you have it, guys. I now have my alligator in my DS game. So thanks for watching the video. Hope it helps you. I will put those links in the description so that you can do this yourself. Oh, this is my voice. And yeah, happy transferring, everybody.